really exciting. Welcome to our top 20 pitch night for the TNT Life Sciences Summit. We'll just wait until a few more people get here, and then we'll get started. Hey. Okay, there are so many people on this call, so many friendly faces. I love seeing all the cameras on. Strong. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3, and we're
and we're
live.
live.
Yay!
Welcome to the 2024 Startup TNT Life Sciences Investment Summit. I'm Lindsay, and I'm one of the Startup TNT investors here in Edmonton, and the Edmonton lead and the Life Sciences Summit lead. And it is a pleasure to be co-emceeing tonight's Top 20 Pitch Night with Trong, who's part of API. And you may or may not know that API is the group that spurred us on to have our very first Life Sciences Summit back in 2022. Trong, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Lindsay, and good afternoon or good evening, everybody who's depends on what part of the country you're in. Welcome to Startup TNT Life Sciences Summit, and I'm so happy to be able to co-MC tonight's event with Lindsay. My name is Trung Ta, for those who don't know me, and I'm the VP of Commercialization and Partnership at Applied Pharmaceutical Innovations. And really tonight is all about the life sciences startups. But before we get into hearing about the new drugs and the new diagnostics and medical devices and all the tech that could be affecting us in the future, we would like to acknowledge the people that has helped us to get here tonight. So tonight, we'll listen to the founders telling us the story of their journey thus far and where they are planning to go and where they're going. So the power of storytelling not only connects us, but it also inspires us and brings us together. Startup TNT operates in the regions that are part of Treaty 1 to 8, Treaty 10, and also the home of the Métis Nation. The people who will be telling the stories tonight, the founders of the startups, live, work, and play within these regions. So API and Startup TNT are both based in Edmonton, as most of you know, on the North Saskatchewan River, part of the traditional gathering place for the Cree, the Dene, the Anishinaabe, the Nakota, Ishai, and the Nishitabe people. That we're able to come together for this event tonight is really a testament and the thank for the stewardship of the Indigenous people that have come before us.
Thank you, Tron. Well said. And it is our traditions that make the foundation for a good community. And I will say that the TNT community is no exception. Since 2019, TNT, or Thursday Night Tradition, we've hosted a weekly happy hour every Thursday where investors, founders, team members, and supporters have come together to have fun, make friends, and build companies. And this week is week 248 of continuous weeks of meetings. And after those 248 weeks, we are now in 5 cities across the prairies. We've held 30 investment summits. We've brought together over 370 angel investors, invested almost $13 million into over 90 companies. And what I think some highlights to me right now are that over 41 of the companies that we've invested in are led by female founders. 24 of the companies are led by BIPOC founders. And these companies are also across so many industries. So those are just some tip of the iceberg stats to consider for an organization that started with a couple of friends meeting in a bar. And Trong, API is our Powered By sponsor to help us make this Life Sciences Summit happen. Can you tell us more about API?
I can certainly do that, Lindsay. So over the past 6 years, since 2018, API has worked on more than 75 industry projects, probably closer to 100 now. And we've worked with over 50 companies for those projects. We help build companies essentially, and our goal is to create value and to bring value, which is often recognized as the company reaches a significant milestone in their development. And that attracts investors and also potentially go public in terms of their listing. So API works with diverse clients and partners ranging from traditional molecule drugs to biologics, but also to medical device and diagnostic companies, and also to natural health products as well. So we have grown significantly over the last year to about 70 staff. We work with over 100 network experts throughout the country. And what we do is we try to offer programs to build capacity and the talent to really strengthen the life sciences ecosystem in the prairies and also across Canada as well.
Thanks, Tron. We love our supporters, and we could not do what we do without them, since Startup TNT is a not-for-profit angel investment group. So you've heard about API, and I want to highlight some of our other friends. We've got our core funding partners, Prairies Can and Alberta Innovates, both of whom you'll hear from a little later. We have our VC friends, Fertility Labs and Healda Health. We have our newest best friend forever, Wosler, who you'll hear from a little later too. And our newest best friend, FentaGone, we just formalized our partnership with them a few days ago. You won't see them hit the stage tonight, but they'll be at the finale on March 14th. Wosler and FentaGone, we're really excited to have you both supporting us now for these sector summits and beyond. And of course, we can't forget some of our longer term best friends, Health Cities, RBCX, MNP, and USEED. And we've got some close friends. We've got BDC, we've got Alberta Enterprise Corporation, the University of Calgary Hunter Hub, community supporters of Amy, Vido, Chess Club, summit organizing partners of CDL Rockies, W21C, Spark Alberta, and Bioscience Association of Manitoba. So thank you to all of our sponsors and partners for helping us put on this event, this summit.
Great. So thank you, Lindsay. So we're gathered here tonight to listen to the pitches from the top 20 startup companies in the summit who are looking for investment. And the question that often can be asked is that why invest in startup? So I'd just like to share a little bit of a personal story here is, I have all the time in the world for startup companies because as my first job outside of post-university was at a startup company. I was the third employee within that company. So I understand the journey, the heartache in some cases, the entrepreneurship and just being really scrappy and resilient to try to bring a dream and to create change and innovate. And a lot of innovation really begins with you, the startup companies. So lots of kudos to the founders here tonight.
Absolutely. And at Startup TNT, we love investing in our local startups because to me, I invest because these are the change makers of the world. And when we're investing in life sciences in particular, they'll have a profound impact on our health, which is very important. So how do our summits work? Well, first, it is not a pitch competition. It is an investment deal screening process. Now, yes, we are going to be watching some amazing pitches tonight, but behind the scenes, the angel investors have already had meetings with every one of the founders that you will see tonight. The TNT investors have each pre-committed $5,000 into the summit winner. And so we'll be doing some more collaborative due diligence over the next 6 weeks. And on finale night, March 14th, the 5 finalist companies will pitch once again, this time in person at Amy in Edmonton on March 14th, and the investors will vote for the winner. One company will win with the pre-committed investment, as well as our VC fund, TNT Capital, will also be investing $50,000 alongside the angel investors. But that's not all. Investors also have the opportunity to invest in other companies participating here tonight. And on average, over the last 30 summits that we've done 2 additional deals per summit. So that makes it pretty exciting for all of the companies who are part of the summit now.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. So we'll hear from 18 companies tonight, great companies, and there are many investors around the table and even more supporters who are watching online tonight. This is going to be an epic evening for everybody. And so, Lindsay, who are the companies that we'll be hearing from tonight?
Yeah, we have a great range of life sciences companies. They can tell you more about them and do it better than I can do for you. But something to put in your mind is here are the logos of the companies pitching and part of the top 20. And at least one, but maybe more, will be joining our board of invested companies on March 14th. So that's pretty exciting. Ron, take us through the agenda for tonight.
All right, so here's the rest of the evening. I think Lindsay and I talked enough, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through some to hear some of the hottest startups in life sciences in Western Canada with their pitches. Each group of 3 pitches will be introduced by a representative from some of TNT's amazing sponsors, and each founder will have 3 minutes to make their pitch. And at the 3-minute mark, because of time constraints and so forth, and we want to be fair to everybody, Lindsay or I will interrupt with a quick 3-minute call. And from then, the presenter will have an extra 30 seconds to wrap up their thoughts. And at the 3-minute and 30-second on the dot, we will be cutting you off, unfortunately. So for the audience, cheer them on, support all the presenters in the chat. We'd love to get those comments coming through. And as you listen to the pitches tonight, what we ask is for you to just think about how can you help out these companies with a connection, with an advisor, with a customer lead, as an example, or anything else that you can think of as you hear their pitch.
Yeah, and if you have questions after the pitch, feel free to post them in the Zoom chat, and then the founders can try to answer those questions for you.
Right.
Now, after these pitches are done, I want to let you know that we have 5 after parties planned in all 5 of our major locations: Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, Regina, and Winnipeg. The locations are listed on the screen. It's about making friends, having fun. So join us at one of these after parties. And you can also donate to the drinks tab at cheers@startuptnt.com.
All right, so let's begin with the pitch. So hopefully that we can see the chat sort of count goes up. It's like now at 13 comments in the chat, but let's see if we can get that going. So Lindsay, anything else before we get going?
Yes. One last thing before we hear our first pitch. I would like to call Andrew Pryor up onto this virtual stage from PrairisCan to give a core funding partner shout out. Andrew,
hey, thank you, Lindsay. And
thanks.
Thank you, Lindsay and Trong. Good evening to everyone online. My name's Andrew Pryor. I'm with Prairies Economic Development Canada. That's PrairisCan for short. As always, I'm extremely pleased to be here at these pitch events. Thrilled to see Startup TNT continuing to go from strength to strength. Got to love to see that TNT effect. For those of you that don't know about PrairisCan, we're a federal government department with a mandate to support economic development in the Prairies provinces. And we do this by making direct investments in innovative technology companies. And we also provide indirect support to entrepreneurs and startups by investing in community and nonprofit organizations, including Startup TNT. I believe we've been funding Startup TNT since 2020. When it comes to our nonprofit investments, we're basically looking to fund platforms, platforms that provide access to infrastructure, access to expertise, access to customers, or in the case of Startup TNT, access to capital. And perhaps most importantly, we want to support community. We want to support like-minded individuals coming together to build the amazing innovation ecosystems that we have in Edmonton and Calgary, and some of the emerging ecosystems we have in our regional hubs. And as always, again, just pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I will take this opportunity to talk a little bit about what the future holds for PrairisCan. The big thing for us over the next few years will be focusing on building a green prairie economy. We're in a time of significant change, and a strong prairie region is critical for a strong national economy. We firmly believe that. To put it simply, a stronger prairie region makes for a stronger Canada. You look at the prairies like an energy, natural resource, and agricultural powerhouse. So we're going to be focusing on our investments in the next few years on supporting those industries to generate new sources of value, wealth, and job creation. Whether that's value-added agricultural products, critical minerals, decarbonization of industry or, emerging opportunities like hydrogen. Of course, we will always have our eye on the future, and we're going to continue to support our amazing life sciences entrepreneurs as well as digital industry entrepreneurs. And we'll get a little weird too. We get into some emerging opportunities like artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, and genomics. Thank you very much for your time. Pleasure to be here.
That's great. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, so we're going to get into this right now. And for those who are using Zoom, there is a button called reactions at the bottom there. You can certainly use that to, give a thumbs up or give congratulations and so forth. I'd like to call up Cassandra from Health Cities, a longtime TNT best friend for the summit, to take us through the first block of 3 companies and listen to their pitches. And please use the reaction tab or function and cheer them on.
For sure. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us. My name is Cassandra. I'm with Health Cities. For those that don't know, Health Cities is a nationally incorporated independent nonprofit based in Edmonton. We're not a service provider, but what we do is initiate pathways in team-based care settings. So think of primary care, long-term care, home care, to basically implement innovative technologies, show that they can be implemented in real-life settings and scale. If you're interested in checking any of our projects out, go to healthcities.ca. You can find out more on remote home health monitoring or remote diagnostic imaging. And that's not all we do. We also host networking events throughout the year, so you can stay tuned on our social channels. We're on all of them at Health Cities. And I'll also drop my email in the chat after, so to stay connected. But moving on, I know we're all here for the pitches, and I'm very excited to introduce our first company, Mach32. You might know Mark. He's no stranger to Startup TNT. And Mark, I'd like to introduce you or welcome you to the virtual stage.
Love it. Thank you. Firing up the screen share. I think we might be on a little bit of a timeline, if that's fair to say. So I'm just going to jump right into it. And I'm going to do the thing I'm not supposed to ask and say, can you see my screen? I'm kidding. So I'm Mark Curiel. I'm an emergency physician. You might recognize me from a prior health science summit. Thank you, TNT. I love that you're having me back. This is great energy, and it's amazing to see how much the whole ecosystem is growing just from 2022. I want to stop people from bleeding to death, and so does the whole team at Mach32. Why do we care? Well, simply put, massive hemorrhage is a massive problem. 9% of worldwide deaths are due to trauma and hemorrhage every year. Almost 10% of deaths are due to bleeding. And it affects some very important demographics: soldiers, actives, accident victims, and most importantly, mothers. Over 200 women bleed to death every single day after childbirth in the developing nation. And that's astronomical and unacceptable to me. We have a solution. There's a medication that can stop 1 in 3 hemorrhage deaths if it's given in the first hour. Problem is, you need to give it through an intravenous, which is hard. We found a way to give it faster and easier, and that's a high volume auto-injector. Our device you can consider like an EpiPen for trauma. We deliver 16 times the volume. That's why it's difficult. It's a very large injection, but it's a standard generic medication that's proven to save lives called TXA. Normally given through an IV, we're shooting it into the muscle. This means we can give it faster, and the faster you give it, the better patients do. As many as 70% of bleeding victims would live if they got this medication in addition to standard of care immediately after injury. But it's not given quickly because it's hard. It's a pain in the ass, as quoted by one of our EMS medical directors. Starting an IV is not simple, and less than 5% of patients get it before they reach the hospital. Now, we know if you get this drug before you reach the hospital, you have less deaths, less blood transfusions, and shorter hospital stays, which results in significant cost savings. And this is an analysis done by the Institute of Health Economics for us, about $13,000 savings per patient in a rural environment with our device. We have a device that's been hands-on tested, beta prototype by active end users. We've done functional live tissue testing, successfully showing we can inject the 5 mils in less than 2 seconds in perfused muscle. And a major military partner has actually tested this in an animal model, and they've determined we're at least comparable to intravenous. We are therapeutic in less than a minute from administration. And the half-life, how long does the drug last in the body, is almost double an intravenous dose. We might actually be better than the current standard of care. We're engaged with some great institutions in Canada, the UK and the USA, both military and EMS, that are supporting our work and actively telling us they will buy TXA injector as soon as we get it regulatory approved. We don't worry about the market. The market is pulling us there. We just need to do the work to get there. Now, what is our advantage? We have done functional testing, validating our device. We've concentrated the drug in a formulation where we can give a full dose in a single shot. And we've done pharmacokinetic testing. We're the only group to show successful pharmacokinetic testing with our drug and our device together. We have great end user engagement and interest, which brings us to the opportunity. We're raising $5,000 on a safe note. This is a sprint for some regulatory and formulation work while we get ready to do a seed raise. That's going to be a priced equity round. Now, there's a saying in medicine, all bleeding stops eventually. Come join us and let's make sure that that bleeding stops while the patient's heart is still beating. Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect timing. Yay.
Awesome. Well done, Mark.
Yeah.
Great. Moving on, we have Carolina from Heroes Biotech. Carolina, take it away.
Hi, I'm Carolina Kutras. I'm the founder of Heroes Biotech. We are a pet health company. And our mission is to modernize and transform diagnosis and prevention of companion animal cancer. Cancer is the #1 cause of death in pets. Every other dog and cat will develop cancer in their adult lives, typically after age 6, but depending on the breed, before that. And if you've been through this journey like I have with my own dog, you know how it can be very, very costly and difficult. It's very inefficient. There are good treatments, but they often don't work because diagnosis comes in too late. And I believe this is a space where we can make a big difference. Our solution is to derive data from animal waste using our patent pending technology that analyzes both genomic and microbiome data from dog and cat stool samples to help detect the most common types of cancer. The test itself is completely non-invasive and pain-free, and it includes collecting a sample at home and shipping it to us for results in less than 24 hours. We provide more than results. We also help clients navigate next steps with an optimized AI tool to help them explore options should they have a positive result. HeroScan will be available for less than $100 and through a subscription model. There's nothing like HeroScan on the market today. HeroScan seems like a test, but really it isn't a test. It's a health data platform. I believe that direct to consumer will change the way that pet owners understand animal disease and preventative care. It will drive pet owner behavior as they seek to help their pets live longer and healthier lives. It will completely redefine veterinary care at scale, and will also enable drug discoveries and novel consumer health products development. The good news is that HeroScan is non-invasive, so it doesn't require regulatory approval in the United States and Canada. And to date, we have started filing our patents. We filed a provisional, we're working on other filings. We have launched our clinical trial, and we are focusing on clinical development and a soft launch with our AI tool this year to help build our customer base that we plan to convert into users next year at our hard launch. And our ask here is to connect with like-minded investors and ecosystem partners who share our vision for accessible companion animal care at scale. Thank you.
Well done, Carolina. That's an amazing platform. Thank you so much. All right, moving on. So this is actually the final presenter that I get to introduce. So thank you for having me. Health Studies is always happy to be here. But it is my pleasure to welcome Simran from FentaGone to the virtual stage.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, give me 1 second. Hi, everyone. So my name is Simran, and I'm presenting on behalf of FentaGone. While you look at these faces, I want you to think of your loved ones and how far you would go to protect them. Every person on this screen is someone's mother, father, child. Every person on this screen is loved. Unfortunately, every person on this screen is dead, killed by one of the leading causes of death in Canada, the opioid epidemic. Now, if you yourself have not been directly impacted by the opioid epidemic, you are looking at someone who has. As one of the individuals in this photo is my loved one who passed away 7 years ago at the hands of their own addiction. Unfortunately, my story is not a unique one. There are tens of thousands of others who have lost their lives as a result of the opioid epidemic, with this number continuing to grow exponentially every single year. We continue to hit record-breaking numbers. However, the social cost is not the only thing. Of course, there's a huge financial burden costing the Canadian government upwards of $46 billion every year. 97% of opioid apparent toxicity deaths were accidental, and 75% of them involved fentanyl contamination. Many of the technologies currently in the market have massive limitations that result in them being ineffective at accomplishing this goal, with people continuing to suffer alone. This leads to a current greater problem in the market, and that's there's no viable street-level testing available for users in their most isolated and vulnerable moments. And that's where FentaGone comes into play. Our device adheres to the ritualistic nature of drug use, it assesses an individual's risk of an overdose, and it is portable and cost-effective. We are in turn revolutionizing street-level testing. Our syringe requires no additional education or knowledge on the end of the user. It assesses an individual's risk of an overdose, and it is street user-friendly. We are empowering users with life-saving information through clear and intuitive results. Essentially, a user will go about their regular routine injecting the substance up the body of the syringe, and they will change color to assess their risk of an overdose, in turn providing them with life-saving information in their most critical moments. Our syringe is unique, it will save lives, and it is a direct solution to the problems we are facing currently. Our three main channels of revenue and distribution include safe consumption sites, private pharmacies, and needle exchange programs across Canada. In turn to all these other savings, we're also saving thousands per overdose when looking and comparing it to emergency fees per overdose. Behind the syringe is a co-founding team with a background in nanotech, as well as materials engineering and biochemistry. However, we are also supported by many other partners, nationally and internationally. From year one, we've partnered with research labs, we've created our MVP, we've partnered with mechanical engineers, and we've raised just under $500,000 in non-dilutive funding. We're also working with giants in the innovative space. The future of FentaGone includes completing our research trials, completing our clinical trials, and running a pilot project. We also hope to finalize our patent. We weren't able to save their lives, however, we have the opportunity to save tens of thousands with your support today. And that's why we need you. There's supposed to be another slide. Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Simran. Thank you to our first three founders for those awesome pitches. I love it. I love where we're headed so far. I would like to bring to the stage Kristen from USEED Startup Investment Funds to introduce our next three pitches. And USEED is a TNT best friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. Hi, everyone. How are you all doing tonight? Thank you for joining us online, and thank you to Startup TNT for organizing and hosting these summits and having us. My name is Kristen, and I'm an associate with the USEED Investment Funds. There's a lot of familiar faces here tonight, but for those who aren't familiar with USEED, we're a group of philanthropically backed, commercially minded, pre-seed, seed stage investment funds based at the University of Calgary. USEED is the largest university-based venture fund in Canada and is just one part of a thriving ecosystem at Canada's most entrepreneurial university. So as part of the University of Calgary, our fund is committed to student development and experiential learning. So as part of that, I actually want to specifically call out that we have a number of students here tonight from the USEED Hiskayne Student Fund, which is a unique two-year student program that focuses on building the next generation of VCs through real-world investment experience, and a program that I was lucky enough to be a part of during my time at Hiskayne. Us at USEED are really excited to be here tonight and are a big supporter of Startup TNT and its commitment and value it adds to the startup ecosystem. So on that note, I'm super excited to kick off the next section of pitches and would like to give a warm welcome to USEED portfolio company Zymedyne and its CEO, Chris.
Thanks, everyone. Zymedyne is a small biopharma with a big idea to develop non-opioid treatments for chronic pain. Our value proposition is that not only will our drugs be safer and more effective, but above all, they'll be non-addictive. The benefits to society is that this is going to dramatically improve quality of life for pain sufferers, but also dramatically reduce opioid dependency. So let's talk about pain and the opioid crisis. Pain is a major problem globally. It is the leading cause of lost productivity, but it's also one of the leading causes of depression and suicide as well. We all know opioids are highly addictive, and the numbers you see here are absolutely tragic and staggering, but they don't even scratch the surface of the families and loved ones who are also affected by the opioid crisis. Unfortunately, there are no alternatives, and that's why new options are desperately needed. And that's where Zymedyne comes in. Our technology is pretty simple. There are human proteins called channels, and the more channels there are, the more pain you feel. And what our technology does is reduce the number of channels and therefore less pain. We have full patents on this technology and full patents on drugs that target this technology. As you can imagine, the market for something like this is absolutely huge. But not only that, 1/3 of the population is going to be affected by chronic pain over their lifespan. And because our population is rapidly aging, all these numbers are undoubtedly going to continue to grow. As for competition, we've already mentioned opioids, but other drugs like NSAIDs, like aspirin, ibuprofen, they're either ineffective or have serious side effects issues of their own. There are, of course, other small pharma, but most are just trying to reinvent opioids, or they target non-specific proteins and so are much more prone to side effects. As for big pharma, we don't see them as competition, but rather as partners and collaborators. And this is a business model they prefer as well. They want us to get the drug to phase 1 and de-risk. They then will license and sell it from us. And then that money from the licensing deal allows us to become sustainable, develop new pipelines, and get us to IPO. Where are we on this path? Well, we've already developed our lead compounds and optimized them, and they're just as effective as opioids without the side effects. We've so far raised over $1.5 million in mostly non-dilutable funding, and we're now going into the independent verification and safety phase. And for the next phase, we're going to need venture capital financing. And that next phase is IND enabling studies for the FDA. Once we get that, we'll be on to planning clinical trials, and then hopefully from there, a licensing agreement with Big Pharma. And on that note, we've already had discussions with Big Pharma, and those discussions are currently ongoing. The ask, therefore, is financing to get us through the IND enabling phase and to get to planned phase 1. We have a fantastic team that's going to allow us to get there. And if you want to know more about the team and Zymedyne itself, you can go to our website at zymedyne.ca. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for your pitch, Chris, and sharing Zymedyne's impactful work in the chronic neuropathic pain space. I would now like to introduce our next presenter, Mahmoud from Healda. The floor is yours, Mahmoud.
Mahmoud, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh, hi there. My name is Mahmoud, and I'm the founder and CEO of Healda. Healda has a unique technology in the field of hemostatic product as a life-saving material. So what's the problem? Each of us has only 5 liters of blood, and when we lose 25% of it, the body goes to shock. After that, anemia causes brain, liver, and kidney failure. For this reason, 2 million people die from bleeding area. It is interesting to know that in total, 58 million surgeries are performed in the United States and Canada, of which at least 2 million surgeries have acute bleeding problem. So what's the solution? Using some new product called hemostat that could stop bleeding quickly. So far, 2 generations of hemostat have been introduced. The first generation is USI model that can coagulate 10 cc of blood in 2 minutes. The second generation is a German model that can coagulate 40 cc of blood in 1 minute. In addition, hemostats are costly, over 200 for a pack of 3 grams. Healda is a 3rd generation, coagulate 110 cc. I repeat, 110 cc of blood in less than only 4-5 seconds. This product is bioactive, safe, ultra fast, and absorbable in the body. Healda has antibacterial and antioxidant properties that could accelerate the wound healing. Healda technology is unique and fully developed. 3 clinical trials have been conducted. The results were published in the Journal of Surgery. Healda has a registered patent in home country, and now there is ready to file in Canada. We can enter the market with a competitive price. Most important customer of Healda are hospital, rescue team, and military services. Business Fortune Insight stated that the hemostat global market size was almost $5 billion in 2023. This market will grow at 8% annually. $1.7 of this market is in North America. Healda plans to occupy at least 4% of it, around $68 million. According to this roadmap, Healda is looking for a production license. The first step to achieve ISO 13485 and MDSAP, which is expected to take 12 months. So we are seeking a $400,000 investment for this stage. Healda company is a professional group of medical, pharma, and product processing experts. As you can see, the name and specialty of each member. We do something to keep life going. It's a slogan of Healda. My presentation is over. Thank you for your time and attention. Keep in touch, Healda, with these links. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahmoud and Healda. So while we have a number of great companies in front of us, this is the last company I get to introduce. So thank you again to TNT for having us tonight. And on that note, I'd like to give a warm welcome to our next presenter, Jumai from PanAccess Innovations. Yeah.
Hi. I guess good evening to everyone. My name is Jumai Abioye, and I'm the founder of PanAccess Innovations. Over the past few years, I have spent time building a range of technologies and commercializing multi-million-dollar technologies that a number of my family members would never be able to afford. And late last year, I decided to take a journey and start this business called PanAccess Innovations. And I've been really blessed, and we have been blessed to be supported by a range of advisors as well as partners, organizational partners that are driving and supporting this project to bring accessible innovations and cutting-edge technologies to every part of the world. The key challenge or the key problem that we're looking at solving with PanAccess at this point is diagnostics. So traditional diagnostics are expensive. They usually require specialized personnel and facilities. And in Canada, usually that's not accessible to Indigenous communities, people in rural communities. And when you don't have tests and results to make informed decisions, you're likely to go with broad spectrum antibiotics, and that drives antimicrobial resistance. But also you get significant financial and productivity losses from humans, as well as all of our pets and foods and crops and livestock, as well as our farmers and their livelihoods. And so what we're looking to do is to break that silo of the different sectors and be able to build technology that cuts across this. And public service announcement, you just might have this in your fridge or freezer, and there's a recall that came out yesterday. So this is a daily challenge across a range of our spaces. What we're proposing is a range of technologies, PattyBase, PattyBios, and PattySeq, that will enable testing on farms, fields, and in homes. And this would be accessible, affordable, and versatile. There is Patty Bios is built on a core technology that is patented and that is accessible to us to diversify to multiple targets. And the lateral flow strips that we're going to bring to market very shortly are aimed to bring the simplicity of the COVID-19 testing that we all performed at home, and that we all have come to know how to perform to the cow side as well as to the homes with significant specificity and sensitivity of laboratory-based tests. We have core target segments across agri-food, women, maternal and child health, as well as chronic cancer and rare conditions, and key applications that we're starting out with.
3 minutes.
And we have a two-phase path to market, starting with agri-food and then transition into the human sector with the aim to have products on the market by the 18th month, which would be mid next year. And feel free to get in touch with us. We are looking at raising about $1.5 million, but that's the long game as well as short-term needs on a safe note to that big picture to be able to do that. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. And there we are through two groups of companies. And, you know, I see some very friendly faces, extra friendly faces on the screen. Zach and Tim. Give
Hey,
us a
Lindsay.
shout out.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Good. Can everybody wave at the same time? We can get like everybody waving. Yes. I love it. Where are you?
It's like a 15-second delay, and I just showed up on the screen. We're actually at the Wash Party at API right now. There's about 100 people. Look, some of them are behind us waving right now. It's a really great setup. Thank you, Paramita, Andrew, and the entire life sciences team from API. It's awesome.
Fantastic. So the watch party is happening. We've already got a couple drink sponsors in. Thank you to Randy Duguay. Thank you to an anonymous person. And thank you to Zach Storms.
Look at that.
Let's keep them coming.
Party. That's how you do it.
I'll toss some in too.
That was to put pressure on Jim to donate.
It's usually the case.
Fantastic. Is there anything you wanna add?
Yeah, listen, this is week 248 of Startup TNT. TNT stands for Thursday Night Tradition. We get together every single week to have fun events like this one. And this is our third Life Sciences Summit?
Third Life Sciences Summit.
We're already having trouble counting, and we're only at 3. It's our third Life Sciences Summit.
I'm the math guy.
API pitched us a couple of years ago that we should do an event like this. It's awesome to do it for a third time. Thank you all for coming. Tim, like we're expanding, right?
We're expanding. We're coast to coast, Zach.
We're coast to coast now, if you consider Hudson Bay a coast. From BC to Manitoba in 2024. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're excited. Well, hopefully, maybe we'll do a Life Sciences Summit out in BC next year.
That could happen. That could happen.
Tell your friends. Ask your friends. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, and listen, we're also now one of the most active investment groups in all of Canada. We did 35 deals in the last 12 months. We're looking to do more deals at the Life Sciences Summit.
I see lots of investable ones around the table. I'm excited.
Lots of investable ones. We got a bunch of the investors here tonight. They were commenting on the quality of the companies to us. We're also doing a special alumni showcase as part of our Life Sciences Summit on March 14th here live in Edmonton. So I want to give a warm shout out. Join us in person. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be a bunch of fun. It's going to be a bunch of fun.
Fantastic. And I know you're going to bring some of those investors to our after party at Red Star afterwards. And we've got the founders on the call, and the founders you got to go join their after parties. And
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you joining us.
Everybody.
Thanks for being part of the action, everybody.
All right. Well, thanks, Zach, and thanks, Tim, and thanks, Lindsay. So we're going to go back into this program here in terms of introducing some more pitches. I'd like to invite up Milan from Vito to talk about a little bit about Vito, and then also to introduce the next block of company. Vito's been a big sponsor and longtime community supporter of TNT and the Life Sciences Summit. So, Milan,
thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here. So, Vito is a vaccine infectious disease organization, as acronym says. We belong to the University of Saskatchewan, and we are the institute that is very interesting. Maybe I think some of you may may heard of us. We are one of the largest level 3 containment level 3 facilities in the world. Actually, we are third by the size. So what that means is that like we have space to run experiments on different animal models, literally from bats, like exotic species, to huge animals. Like right now we have a bison, and it's very important. We have like a TB trial right now. So it's very interesting. Our facility is very unique, and we collaborate and do research with people from all over the world, like from Australia, Europe, different countries from Europe, US, Canada. So basically that's very interesting from our point. And also one of the curiosities that we are the only level 3 facility that size that belongs to the university, and soon we will have a level 4. So you know, coming from the University of Saskatchewan, that's a big feat, and I'm proud to represent Vito and the University of Saskatchewan. Myself, I'm a head of contract research, and we deal with a lot of startups. We helped through pandemics a lot of development, especially for COVID vaccines and antivirals. We dealt with a lot of startups and helped them to develop, especially Canadian startups. So I'm very curious to hear you guys. Very interesting pitches, and I'm thrilled to be here. So I'm proud to represent some of the pitches next. So next is Lisa from Cubresa. So please go ahead.
Thank you very much. All right, here. Hi, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Lisa Bako, and I'm the VP of Sales and Strategic Partnerships at Cubresa. I'm going to start with some statistics. 50 million people today have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and that number is going to rise to approximately 150 million by 2050. Once diagnosed, you have approximately 5 years until you pass away from the disease. Now, the exciting news is that therapies are coming to market, meaning millions will need to get diagnosed and monitored. And if you're like me and you've lost a loved one to this disease, I lost my mom, my grandmother, my great aunt, you're going to want to get screened early, and it will need to start 10 to 15 years prior to diagnosis. PET combined with MRI is considered the gold standard and is the most powerful tool for brain imaging on the market, and it's used for the diagnosis and treatment of Alzheimer's disease today. So what's the problem? Well, global PET scanner usage is nearing capacity due to whole body cancer imaging. So this means it's very difficult for neurology patients to get scanned. So what can we do to increase worldwide PET scanner capacity to accommodate the wave of Alzheimer's patients that are coming? Well, Cubresa's brain PET solution. We have the world's first commercial brain optimized PET scanner. It retrofits into existing MRIs. You don't need a new exam room. It's an easy install, small footprint, faster workflow, and it provides a better patient experience because both scans happen at once. We know we have a distinct advantage in this market. We have advanced industry-leading performance. We design for all MRI magnets, and the best point is we are 1/7 the cost of a whole body PET MRI scanner. So other brain PET devices, they're standalone, they're not MRI compatible, or they're not commercial. And of course, there's the high cost scanners, the whole body PET CTs, PET MRIs. They have a very large footprint and they provide lower specifications for brain imaging. So our traction to date, we have 3 brain PET purchase orders totaling 3 million Canadian. We have an LOI with one of the big 4 medical device manufacturers, and we're in preliminary conversations with a global pharmaceutical company. Our founder, Dr. James Schellenberg, and the C-suite, they have over 60 years of experience in the medical imaging space. And combined with a strong leadership team and great scientific advisors from across Canada, they're well supported. Our regulatory pathway, we submitted our Health Canada ITA in Q4 of 2023 to allow us to do human imaging on our first installation. We are targeting our FDA submission in Q2 of 2024, and then other regulatory jurisdictions will follow after that. The opportunity is big. It's a $23 billion market, and Cubresa's goal is to claim $5 billion of overall market share in 10 years. Our device sells for 2 million Canadian per scanner, 150,000 per year in ongoing service. We have a 50% gross margin, and we're predicting 200% of revenue growth year after year. Our investment target is 1 million Canadian.
3 minutes.
Thanks. Our investment target is 1 million Canadian, and our raise began in December of 2023. We're 40% subscribed, and the use of funds is for sales, marketing, and FDA activities. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. That was a great presentation. I'm very interested in that scanner, especially we have one scanner in level 3, containment level 3, and I think I read on your website that you also have a level 3 compatible devices. Amazing.
Correct. Hoping to have level 4 soon too.
Yeah, excellent, excellent, amazing. Thank you. So next.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for these have been great pitches, and thanks for inviting us to attend here. So my name is Jeff Miller. I'm the CEO of a company called Oligomics. I've worked in the biotech industry for 28 years for Lilly, Boehringer Ingelheim, for Alexion, one of the original rare disease pioneers, and for Alnylam, the world leader in RNA therapeutics. What we're doing at Oligomics is developing next generation RNA targeted therapies. We are raising $3 million right now in our seed round through a SAFE. This is going to help take our lead asset through the next phase of development. Our goal is to be in humans in 36 months. I only have one slide tonight. I want to take you through a couple of numbers to show what we are, what we think we can be, and who we think we can help in the future. Starting off in the upper left corner, the rare disease market is expected to be $435 billion by 2032. It's growing rapidly. We think there are anywhere between 400 and 500,000 patients that can be helped with our medications that we're developing right now. The next two boxes on the right there focus on what we think is the foundation and the strength of our company, and that's our scientific founders, Dr. Toshi Okota and Dr. Rika Maruyama, who are at the University of Alberta, and Dr. Lawrence Korngut at the University of Calgary. Between the three of them, they've done over 90 clinical trials in this space, and there's already a drug approved that came out of Dr. Yokota's lab. So one of the things that we have as a deep competency is identification of targets and development of drugs to help diseases that are in the unmet need category. Going down to the lower left corner, right now we have 4 different preclinical assets in our portfolio. That is good for a couple of reasons. Number one, in drug development, things fail all the time. It's just part of being in this business. But we think with having this many assets, at least advanced this far, and a few others coming along, when things fall off, we have backups. Moreover, it gives us business optionality. We intend to license out at least one of these assets to bring in capital, which will further help not only accelerate the value of your investment, but will help drive that program ahead. The number 3 focuses on tissues that we've identified that we can target in our preclinical studies. 3 that are very hard: the brain, the heart, and muscle. And what we've shown in our studies so far is that we can get to all of those, and we believe that can be a substantial differentiator and put us in a position to develop not only first-in-class therapies, but certainly for diseases that have approved therapies better in class than what is out there right now. And finally, the lower right corner is just a bit of an instructive case on what we think Oligomics can become. I like to point to a company called Ionis. Ionis is a company that for a long time has developed drugs, licensed them out to partners, and then commercialized a few of their own. They've been doing that for quite some time now. About 10 years ago, they licensed a drug called Spinraza to Biogen. Spinraza is for a rare disease called SMA. In 2023, that drug did $2 billion in sales. That translated into a $200 million royalty going from Biogen to Ionis, and that was just in that 1 year alone. To further the point, in 2022, they did another deal for the next generation SMA asset where Biogen transferred $60 million to Ionis for a preclinical asset. And I just want to remind you, that's exactly where we are right now in the preclinical stage. So we think this is instructive, what can be done with great science, leading to great business, and helping a lot of patients in need. Thanks a lot for the invitation, and it's a real pleasure to be here.
Great, that's wonderful. Thank you, Milan. Thank you to the group of companies that just made a pitch. That's wonderful, wonderful innovations. Pass it over to Lindsay.
Thanks, Trong. We are halfway through our pitches. We've already heard about drug development. We've heard about medical device development. We've heard about things for humans, things for animals. We are well in our underway on hearing about all of the companies that we have around the table today. Before we move on to our next set of companies, I would like to bring Bindi up to the stage. She is from Alberta Innovates, one of our core funding partners.
Thanks, Lindsay, and good job, everyone, so far. I'm looking forward to the rest of the pitches tonight. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Bindi Ferguson. I'm the Director of Commercialization on the health team at Alberta Innovates. And for those of you who don't know who or what Alberta Innovates is, we are a provincial agency here in Alberta with the mandate to support and foster research and innovation in our province. And on the health side specifically, which is my passion, we do support researchers, students, health innovators, as well as health tech companies. And so on the company side, I will just kind of put a shout out for our Accelerating Innovations into Care programs. If you are looking for non-dilutive funding, come talk to me. We probably have a program fit for you. But one of the other things I just wanted to mention is we're really excited to have just announced earlier this week the launch of our new Digital Health Innovation Academy. And it's in partnership with Bright Squid and CGI. And we're offering 3 online courses for digital health companies who need to go through all the privacy and compliance things around health data privacy. So SOX 2, HIPAA compliance, all that kind of stuff. So we just announced there's 10 free spots available. And if you're interested, apply by March 10th. And with that, Lindsay, I'll throw it back over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bindi. It's great to hear about your new digital health program. Just before I introduce our next co-host, I would like to give a shout out to the two new people on our drinks tab who have given some donations, Kiko and Anonymous. It's pretty fun. So now I would like to bring Emmy on stage from Wosler. Wosler is our newest best friend forever.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Amy, and I'm a lawyer and associate at Wosler Hoskin and Harcourt. I am specifically in emerging and high growth companies group. We are great supporters of Startup TNT, and of course, I'm very happy to be here tonight listening to wonderful pitches. The emerging and high growth companies group specifically is passionate about entrepreneurship and supporting growth and early stage companies. Our group works closely with venture capital teams to help recognize, develop, and move forward the tech ecosystem. We are everywhere in Canada, but I specifically work from Calgary office. We advise both emerging and high growth companies and investors nationwide on the unique issues involved in venture capital. The best way to connect with me is via LinkedIn, but I'm a foot on the ground person and always very happy to catch up with everyone over drinks. Let's move to the next company. The next company who's represented by Oliver is Qualisure Diagnostics.
Hello, and thank you very much. My name's Oliver Baith. I'm a cancer surgeon, and I'm CEO of Qualisure Diagnostics, which is a precision oncology company. So let me tell you a little bit about how cancer is treated. Cancer care involves really extensive treatments and giving really toxic drugs to people who are already sick from their cancer. And what's worse is that the doctors who prescribe these treatments don't even know whether the treatments are going to be working. So what we need are tools to help to personalize cancer care. And by that, I mean tests that inform clinicians and the patients on how quickly the tumor is going to grow, whether it has the capacity to spread to other parts of the body, and whether it responds to various treatments. And we have a platform for developing those kinds of tests. It begins by engaging with our network of collaborating oncologists to identify unmet clinical needs. And then we use our machine learning algorithm to create the test And that machine learning, which we call HiLifer, scours very large genomic databases to identify the molecular features of a cancer that are most closely related to survival outcomes. And finally, we have a cloud-based engine, which houses all of our diagnostic algorithms. Now, I've been practicing for more than 30 years, but when I saw the potential of this technology to impact on patient care, I quit my job as a surgeon. So our first test is a test for thyroid cancer. And the reason that we prioritize that is because thyroid surgeons and endocrinologists have asked for a test to help them make better decisions. And there's no other test like that currently on the market. The way the test works is that we take a small tumor sample and we look at the pattern of expression of the genes that we know are most closely related to the risk of recurrence. And that informs the patient and the doctor on the path forward. This might mean more conservative surgery or even observation. On the other hand, it could also direct the patient to a more aggressive treatment, such as a total thyroidectomy. What makes us really different, though, is our capability to do this testing anywhere in the world. The reason for that is that we have this cloud-based engine, which we call Molecular Decoder. Molecular Decoder houses our diagnostic algorithms. It produces a test result within minutes and delivers it back to the ordering physician within minutes. This is a tool that's going to help us to access the international markets. We have a very efficient platform, and so we also already have a pipeline of tests, each with very significant revenue potential. We've launched Thyroid Guide PX in the US. We already have some sales from patients in 4 different countries. We get emails on a weekly basis from patients. We have 3 to 5 meetings with interested clinicians each week, and we're planning a pilot project at Kaiser Permanente. This is our team. We're small but mighty. We're all very passionate about bringing forward our mission, which is to bring precision oncology to reality. Thank you very much for your attention. I look forward to meeting some of you and telling you more about our company and what we're using our funds for, which is to scale our team and to generate traction in the market. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oliver. I will now call up the next company, Pulmvita, to come represented by Cole.
All right. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. I'm Cole Christensen. I'm a co-founder of Pulmvita. And the problem we're trying to solve relates to this big population of people who need long-term oxygen therapy to survive. I think most people here will probably remember when you had a landline phone, and every time you left the house, you'd have to switch to your cell phone. Luckily for us, cell phones have evolved so much that you no longer need a landline, and our lives are way more convenient because of it. But unfortunately for oxygen patients, their current care pathway is analogous to using a landline and a cell phone in combination. So what I mean by this is oxygen patients right now will be set up with a stationary refrigerator-sized stationary concentrator to use during sleep or when they're resting at home. And then they have to switch to this portable backpack-sized cell phone version of a portable oxygen source every time they leave the house. And the reason they're stuck in this out-of-date form of technology is because their portable systems or their cell phone version of the system has bad reception. So what I mean by that is that portable oxygen sources need to detect inhalation in order to work properly. If a patient breath is not detected, oxygen is not sent. So this is really scary, especially during mouth breathing, which typically occurs during sleep and exercise, because when you open your mouth, and you're connected to the oxygen source via nasal tubing, this disrupts the signal, and this is discouraging patients from exercising and leaving the house, which just progresses their disease state. And then back to the sleep side, they have to switch back to their landline source every time they go to bed because mouth breathing occurs a lot during sleep. So to solve this problem, we're developing a new type of nasal interface, which unlike a standard cannula, works during every common breathing scenario. So we're basically improving the reliability of the cell phone portable version so much that the need for a landline is eliminated in the context of this oxygen care pathway. So we'd sell our device for roughly $15 a piece, which is more than a standard cannula. But we think our device is worth a lot more because of this added convenience and the potential cost savings with eliminating that landline stationary source. The total addressable market for standard cannulas globally in this space is over 2.5 billion. Our serviceable addressable market is considered to be North America because that's where we're looking to get regulatory approvals. We're asking for 250,000 so we can get regulatory approvals and complete patient trials. We think we could do this over 2 years or 2 years from getting the funding. In return for this investment, we'd use a safe note. After obtaining regulatory approvals, we could enter the sales phase, or there's opportunity for acquisition exits as well. Assuming we enter the sales phase, we're projecting $15 million of revenue about 5 years from now. And if you invest in our team, this is who you'd be investing in. I'm Cole Christensen. I have my master's degree in mechanical engineering. I don't know if I have time to go through everyone on the list, but I should shout out
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay, yeah. So I'll just end with, we recently added Dr. Daniel Viss, who is a respirologist, a lung specialist out of the UFC. And you can find out way more about our team if you want to talk to me after. So I'll end there. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you, Cole. The last company in this segment is TraceCure. And again, thank you so much for having me on this platform today. It's really a pleasure. TraceCure, represented by Fremont. Thank you.
Thanks for the nice introduction. I hope you can see my first slide. I want to take you on this journey of theranostics.
We don't see your slides, actually.
Okay. Can you see the slide now?
Yes.
Okay. I want to take you on the journey of theranostics and radioligand therapy. Imagine a prostate cancer cell which has this funny antigen on its surface. For this antigen, we developed a theranostic radiotracer that actually docks specifically on those antigens. When loaded with a positron emitter, we can use this technology to make a diagnosis using PET imaging, determining the tumor load in a prostate cancer patient. When loaded with a beta emitter, for example, we can use this technology to actually treat the tumor, which, when spiked with this radioactivity, will eventually shrink and disappear. There's currently only one drug that has been FDA and Health Canada approved, which is Pulmvita by Novartis. This is a typical journey of a patient treated with Pluvicto. You see that after 4 cycles, the tumor load is significantly reduced. But this comes at a side effect, that's the high costs, which is actually reducing the accessibility for those patients. You also see that there might be remnant tumor even after 4 cycles of this therapy. So when switching the radionuclide from a beta particle in Pluvicto to an alpha particle, the cycles may be reduced to possibly only 1 cycle with even similar or better efficacy. But one side effect of Pluvicto is that it's also accumulated in salivary glands, which may lead to a complete loss of taste after therapy. Our Edmonton compound does not have this problem because it has no affinity to salivary glands. It can be locally produced and is substantially more economic than provision of Pluvicto. But before we can use it in patients, we need Health Canada approval. On this behalf, we already master all the steps towards approval. We have developed an automated cassette-based radiosynthesis. We are managing GMP and quality control. We are even able to detach the radioactivity production from the cyclotron to the actual compounding of the product, which can be as easy as the compounding of an antibiotic. This is thanks to an invention by co-founder Ralf Schirmacher. Here you see the excellent activity in the preclinical tumor model of prostate cancer of his compound. He had a recent success that one of his compounds today is a standard of care for the diagnostics of neuroendocrine tumor, with a market penetration of 80% in Germany. We are constantly screening for new and clinically relevant compounds, and one of the inventions by co-founder Frank Wüst is actually targeting colorectal cancer, also with a high specificity for colorectal tumor cells. So TraceCure is actually embedded into the clinical landscape at the Prostate Cancer Institute, where I'm also acting as a division director of radioligand therapy. We already have proven that our compounds, that we are able to ship them throughout the province, but also nationwide and internationally. So the market analysis for theranostics shows that there is an expected growth rate of up to 10% within the next 5 years, reaching a market cap of probably something like $30 billion in 2026. There is a potential for theranostics made in Alberta. We've identified 3 lead compounds targeting prostate cancer, breast cancer, pancreas cancer, and colorectal cancer. We are asking today for a pre-seed funding of about $750,000 towards Health Canada market authorization. We will spend or intend to spend the money on toxicology studies, on the regulatory specialist, but
3
also on the
minutes.
fractional CEO to improve on our financial model. Remember, from our potential competitors, only Novartis has a licensed product yet. They got it from buying it from a small company just as TraceCure, which might be an exit strategy for TraceCure as well. Thank you for your attention.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody. What a wonderful first 12 companies in terms of the startups and all the science and technology that's happening in Western Canada. So it's great. I have an opportunity to, I guess, bring Connor to the stage from Halo Health, a TNT best friend for a while. And so Connor will take us through the next 3 companies in terms of their pitches. So Connor, over to you.
Thanks, Trong. So first off, I'd like to say what a privilege it's been to work with the TNT and API team so far on this Life Science Summit. So thanks so much for having us. For those of you who don't know me or Halo Health, my name is Connor. I'm an analyst with Halo Health, who are Canada's physician-exclusive angel investment group, comprised of a little over 400 MDs now from coast to coast that are investing in health tech companies, Canadian-specific, for the most part, offering in capital and advisory that are at the early stages. So since inception, we've deployed a little over $7 million into 45 health tech companies now with 4 exits. And so if you're a physician looking to get involved on the angel investment side, we're always welcome to have you join our community. If you're a startup looking for investment, you can always interact with either me. I'll drop my email down in the chat. We also have an application on our website. But if you're also an early stage health tech startup looking for advisory from a physician, we have this unique program at Halo Health called the Specialty Match Physician Advisory Program, more geared towards really early stage pre-commercialization health tech startups looking to get inside the mind of a physician if you haven't necessarily had the opportunity to yet. So we run that in partnership with Alberta Innovate. So if you're a startup here that is a client of theirs, you automatically qualify for it. I see some startups, some friendly founders that have already gone through the program, so they might be able to speak to their journeys through it. But without further ado, I have the privilege of announcing the next 3 companies. And first off, we have Claire of Neuraura.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Connor. I work in women's health because it's an untapped trillion-dollar industry, because of my own 8-year journey with infertility, and because of the people I meet every day carrying the burden of the health equity gap. People like Christy, carrying this burden since she was 14. For 12 years, she couldn't get any answers at all. Sudden unexplained weight gain, uncontrollable bleeding for weeks on end, and debilitating pain that doctor after doctor told her was perfectly normal. We're developing Loop for Christy and the millions of women like her. PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome, is the most common, most profound, and most overlooked hormonal condition. And unless you or someone close to you is affected, you probably haven't even heard of it. It's not just the leading cause of infertility. More than half of sufferers will develop diabetes before the age of 40, and there's a long tail of devastating health complications. The existing standard of care today, hormonal contraceptives, confound diagnosis, disrupt fertility even further, and can come with additional risks from side effects. And the most effective therapy, acupuncture or electroacupuncture, is totally inaccessible at around $15,000 a year. So like Therabody brought professional massage into the home, we're translating those benefits into a convenient, easy-to-use device. Our device modulates the metabolic, reproductive, and menstrual symptoms, delivering gentle electrical stimulation 3 times a week for 30 to 60 minutes. And our broader Loop platform brings together everything in one place to manage PCOS as a chronic condition. We have 3 revenue streams from the end user: upfront sales of the device, subscriptions or bundles of the replacement electrode patches, and subscription to the MyLoop app. So the opportunity from end user sales alone is huge, and there's additional upside from B2B. We've already secured initial commercial interest with a letter of intent for up to $1 million in pre-sales, and we have a number of discussions underway with other channel partners, and we're building our ecosystem of partners, a source of affiliate commission for us, as well as access to their customer base. We finalized our pre-production prototype, and we translated those high-quality peer-reviewed studies and validated that it works in initial human studies. And I'm not just a mission-driven founder. I bring 25 years of international commercial experience, and I'm joined in this journey by my brilliant co-founder, the inventor of our patented technology. We're supported by world-class advisors like Lisa, who's literally the global thought leader in electrostimulation for this condition. We're transforming the standard of care for chronic underserved conditions, starting with PCOS. Join us. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Claire. So next up, we have Doug of Wosler Corp.
Sorry about that. Good evening. My name is Doug Ayers. I'm the Manager of Business Development for Wosler Corp. First, I want to apologize. Our founders couldn't be here. They're actually on a flight back to Canada from the Middle East. Wosler is a healthcare technology company, and we're working to improve the access to healthcare regardless of labor availability. Sonographers, ultrasound technicians are in high demand, but high demand and low supply across the world, leaving clinics in rural areas immense challenges recruiting and retaining specialized labor. These clinics can't easily support staff like sonographers. They simply can't provide diagnostic services, leaving patients in surrounding and remote communities to suffer without diagnosis or commit to traveling hundreds of kilometers to get necessary care. In fact, the Canadian government spends approximately $30 million annually to transport rural patients into urban areas to get care. This isn't just a Canadian problem. It's not just a North American problem. This is a worldwide problem. As mentioned, our leadership team is returning from the Middle East, where it's such a significant problem in Saudi Arabia, but they're focused on creating virtual hospitals with up to 50 remote clinics, none of which offer ultrasound due to the unavailability of technology. And this is where our Sono system comes in. Sono system is basically a three-pronged approach, three patented product. Our Sono Station, which is basically a remote control device that allows us to control our Sonobot, which is a robot that wields an ultrasound probe. And that's all connected with our Sono Link, allowing the sonographer to perform ultrasounds without being in the same room, country, or even continent. We are not only a hardware provider, we are a labor provider. We will have a subscription-based service for this platform. We will provide the sonographers in our urban settings that will perform ultrasounds. I'll drop a video because it's 7 minutes long and won't fit in 3 minutes. I'm going to drop a video in the chat of our first ever ultrasound performed about a year and a half ago, over 3,500 kilometers away. Just last week, we actually performed our first scan from Dubai and Saudi Arabia perfectly from over 11,000 kilometers away. We're past the prototype phase at this point, and we're facing Healthcare Canada and FDA approval. Our system has endless options, including CT attachments, X-ray attachments, and of course, our ultrasound. We're currently in our seed funding phase, and we're working towards the funding that we're looking for is our final steps towards production, manufacturing, and the approval process. Our team is made up of dedicated founders, not only in the medical industry, but in robotics and Medtronics. Now is the time to change the future of healthcare. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Doug. Really, really cool tech that you're building out there. So my last company that I have the privilege of introducing here tonight is Sarah from Lasoo Health.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for your time during this evening, and I'm hoping everybody can see my slide. I can't, but so I'm a Oh,
So you can put it into a slideshow, or is it?
Let me do this. All right, is that better?
Perfect.
Thanks. So Lasoo Health, we are a specialty e-solution company trying to support our primary care physicians looking to rein in medical uncertainty. And I'm partnered with Gordon McDonald, who's an industrial engineer. If anybody hasn't been under a rock, you'll know that there's a healthcare problem. Physicians are overburdened, long wait times, and ultimately that leads to more cost for the system, but poor outcomes for patients. So workforce issues, we know in Alberta alone, primary care visits have increased 8% in the past decade. Meanwhile, physicians are leaving the province and our population is increasing. For patients seeing their primary care doctors, for example, for knee pain, will exhaust conservative care early, may see that primary care doctor 4 or 5 times, eventually gets referred, perhaps to orthopedic surgeon in this case. And we know that 50% of those referrals are inappropriate. It can take 2 to 4 years from the referral to surgery, and those wait times are increasing by 20% year over year. So our solution is basically trying to digitally transform this. We're looking to combine AI with our deep medical algorithms to provide those primary care patients with a specialist approved treatment plan and specific diagnosis, and keep them with their primary care physician. So ours is a novel platform. We're going to be engaging patients, not only as an intake, but really to derive the diagnosis digitally and a care plan addressing primary care concerns. We have a validated platform. We know these algorithms work compared to in-person assessments. It can be used anywhere and can access remote equity deserving populations and respectful of physician time based on Canadian guidelines. So we're looking to offload both physician, but mostly primary care physician time, just a few clicks and they can refer the patient in. Patients will be doing the work and guiding through an intelligent intake form to extract that information. And then our specialists will be reviewing the patient's summary with a probable diagnosis and tailored treatment plan that then they'll share back with the family physician. We know that the algorithms really improve patient care. It's better outcomes, fewer physician visits, and offload those wait times. Better accuracy by using an anatomic widget. These are based already on existing fee codes, so these aren't added costs, and there's no added costs for physicians to use, and it's efficient. So large potential market size, we would go after headaches and musculoskeletal concerns first, with up to a potential of 8.4 million a year. Good solid financial metrics, good gross margin, and with just modest growth of high potential for revenue. So our key objectives are engaging physicians. I have a medical advisory group of specialists and GPs who are participating in the development. We're completing our pilot and developing the headache and MSK modules. We're going to look at data analysis, so patient outcomes, cost analysis, number of physician visits, and then we'll be scaling that platform and looking to migrate it to commercial revenue and documenting clinical patient outfit. And we're looking to raise early now. So thank you for your time.
Fantastic. Another 3 amazing pitches, just showing you the variety of all the companies that we have here tonight. And more than that, we've also received a couple more donations, one from Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. And one also, Tim came through. You know, he said he was going to do it. He came through, he did it. So that's great as well. For our last block, I'd like to introduce Crystal Phillips from Thin Air Labs, one of our VC friends. Crystal, can you come on to the virtual stage? Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Lindsay. Oops, sorry if there's background. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. We can't see you, but we can see you now.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm not the expert. That's why I find them and fund them. So I'm Crystal Phillips, and I'm okay. Hopefully this is working. I'm Crystal Phillips, and I'm the Vice President of Thin Air Labs Fund 1. We specialize in early stage investments, and half of our portfolio in our first fund is in the life sciences sector, which is also my area of expertise. So great to be here. Very inspired by the companies that have presented up until now, and have the honor to introduce the next ones. First up is Difinity Solutions with David.
Sorry, my screen share has gone a bit wonky there. Can everyone see my slides there?
Yep, that's good.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I'm David Kim, an emergency physician by background and the co-founder and CEO of Difinity. Meet Sarah, a university student who had an accidental overdose at a party. By the time she got to my emergency room, she was suffering from critical brain damage. She needed a timely delivery of naloxone, a life-saving medication that must be given in an overdose within 60 seconds or they could die. But when you open the naloxone kit, you find a confusing set of equipment and instructions with more than 8 steps involved. This is too complicated and takes too long, which is why we could not save Sarah. Sarah is now among the more than 1 million people who've lost their lives to the opioid epidemic since it all began. Now meet NeedSwitch, the world's first patented, interchangeable, and modular auto-injector for emergency medication delivery. NeedSwitch uses a pod-based plug-and-play medication delivery system, much like coffee pods, except the pods contain life-saving medications. So during time-sensitive emergencies like opioid overdose, NeedSwitch breaks down a confusing 8-step process that can take up to 5 minutes into a simple 2-step process that takes less than 30 seconds. It was designed by a team of doctors and engineers to make medication delivery faster, safer, and easier for everyone. Now, because of our pod-based design, NeedSwitch has platform applications for beyond naloxone for other drugs like epinephrine, military medicine, pre-hospital, in-hospital, and even home use for injectable drug targets. To commercialize, we need regulatory approval as a combination product. We'll be initially targeting drugs that are generic and already approved by equivalents like naloxone and epinephrine, meaning we won't require a clinical trial. This significantly de-risks and accelerates our regulatory pathway. We've also really partnered with a top 5 global contract device and pharmaceutical manufacturer in the US with licenses for over 15 drug targets, including naloxone, epinephrine, TXA, atropine, just to name a few. Our team is composed of medical doctors, engineers, and regulatory experts. And specifically, we have team members who've taken multiple medical and pharma devices through to regulatory approval. We have advisors who've successfully exited from other medical device companies and prominent investors like Startup TNT who've participated in our last funding round. Over the last few years, we've worked hard to create a fully functional MVP prototype through hundreds of iterations. We have a strong IP portfolio with over 5 patents issued and more patents pending in over 15 jurisdictions. And we've done all this with our previous pre-seed round of $1 million and are ready for next milestones. For traction, we have an agreement with a national level military partner to perform further pilot testing. And as mentioned, have a partnership with a top 5 device and contract manufacturer in pharma to develop and commercialize our technology while we maintain 100% exclusivity and IP rights to our product. Right now, we're raising $500,000 on our bridge round to execute our development agreement with our manufacturing partners. With your investment today, you can help develop the world's first modular and universal interchangeable autoinjector for various applications to save lives, starting with naloxone, so we don't see this type of headline. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. And next up is My Fertility Labs, presented by Sarah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sarah Harper, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of the company My Fertility Labs. A little over 1.5 years ago, I was told by my doctor that I was experiencing my 2nd miscarriage in a row. When I asked my doctor if there was anything they could do to prevent it, they said no. Unhappy with that answer, I called around, and the 4th doctor finally agreed to treat me in pregnancy and to provide hormone care to balance my hormones. And because of that care, that would have been miscarriage, is now my 10-month-old daughter today. Now, I'm not alone. 1 in 5 couples experience infertility, and 1 in 5 pregnancies end in miscarriage. There's a field of medicine called restorative reproductive medicine that works to optimize hormone levels. And using this field of medicine, we can help to increase the live birth rates. The total market is over 8.2 million women with difficulties trying to conceive. And if we capture under 5% of that, we could reach annual revenues of $624 million annually. The problem with current solutions is that they don't treat the root cause of infertility. If you go to your GP, your levels are either normal or they're not. They don't know what your optimal levels are, which is important for fertility. There's also a 6-month to 1-year wait to access fertility specialists. And fertility clinics are expensive with relatively low success. They can cost upwards of 10 grand per IVF cycle. Fertility apps are inaccurate. And home blood tests don't paint the full picture. They often leave out male fertility blood work. They don't have semen tests, and there's no full cycle blood work. The solution is Fertility Labs. We are launching this spring with fertility screens for both couples and individuals, starting at just $250 per month plus blood work. We already have lab partners, and we're partnered with the International Institute of Restorative Reproductive Medicine so that people who need fertility care can access it through referrals to start and then through our online platform in the future. Now, what is restorative reproductive medicine? It is a field of medicine that seeks to treat the root cause of reproductive health problems without suppressing or bypassing the problem. And what are the study results? Comparable to IVF. In a study where women were over the age of 37 and had over 5 years of infertility, 37% had live births with this field of medicine. And the co-founder is our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Tracy Parnell. I'll introduce the rest of our rockstar team. Myself, I have over 7 years experience working with senior leadership in startup companies. Laura Duguay, our Chief Commercialization Officer, has over 6 years of experience working in commercialization efforts.
3 minutes.
And Carolyn Pecan has over 17 years experience as a fertility care practitioner. We've also secured the Life Sciences Fellowship. We are Fertility Labs, and we are changing the face of fertility care. Follow our story online. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And I am sorry to all of the angels out there who have to make some pretty tough decisions. This is high quality pitches that are happening here. We've got one more left, and that is Jeremy from Waveview Imaging.
Thanks, Crystal, and nice to see you. Here we go. So, good evening, everyone. At Waveview Imaging, we are developing a new approach to breast cancer imaging for better outcome and to save lives. I could give you many statistics, but most importantly, I think we all know someone who has been impacted by breast cancer. My cousin found a lump in her breast at age 39 before any screening was available to her. The cancer was too advanced, and she died, leaving 2 young children behind. Late detection is a big issue. First, like my cousin, 1 in 10 breast cancer happens before any screening is available. And even when available, about 35% of women do not go. They might not have access to it. They may be scared of X-ray, or they may find them painful. Finally, a large portion of women have dense breast tissues, for which X-ray mammography will miss about 1 in 2 cancer. We are developing a new technology to detect breast cancer earlier. It is portable, so it can be bought anywhere. It is simple to operate. We make it comfortable to improve compliance. Scan is fast and results available immediately. And finally, it is completely safe. So you can start monitoring breast health at any age and as often as necessary. Breast imaging is a large market, and we know it will take time to access. We have a stepped approach by first getting into the market as a breast density assessment device, following by treatment monitoring, before using it as an adjunct tool for screening breast cancer. Currently, here we go. Currently, we have IP pending for both the hardware and the method, and we have regulatory strategy in place for Canada and the US. And we are running clinical testing to assess breast density and ability to monitor treatment. Our preliminary results confirm that we are able to assess breast density when compared to X-ray mammography, which is the only option available at the moment. But I'm more so to show you our ability to detect tumor. Comparing the view of both the left and right breast, our device clearly identifies the location of the tumor with an increased enhancement shown in dark red in this figure. And I am even more excited to show you the example of a participant with a dense breast tissue. We clearly detect the tumor, and we were really hoping to achieve this in a dense breast scenario. And looking at the evolution over time, we clearly see the treatment having an effect on the tumor that is reduced over time. Beyond all of this, I have a great team. I am seconded by my fierce co-founder, Ellie Sphere, and supported by many advisors. I am also delighted to have a mentor with great experience in the medical device industry.
3 minutes.
We are raising a total of 2.8 million to bring our device on the market for breast density assessment. Pfizer believed in us and have contributed a significant portion already. Waveview imaging is moving the needle on breast cancer. Will you be part of the journey with us? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy, for closing us off with all those pitches. Let's give a huge round of applause to everybody that pitched tonight. It was pretty impressive. Use those reactions. Use those thumbs up. Yes, I'm seeing this all over the screen. I love it. We have had, I think we had over 100 people on the Zoom tonight. So that's amazing. I know we've got I think the after party the watch party at API sold out as well. And so there were a lot of people there too. So it's fantastic to see how many people are here to hear about all of the amazing life sciences companies that we have across the prairies. I would like to, Trong, where are you? What did you think of the evening? There you are. Okay.
Oh my God, that's first of all inspirational, really innovative. I think when you take a look at all the pitches tonight, I think the life sciences sector in Western Canada, in Alberta, in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, we're in great hands. And we should do everything we can to support these startup companies. And, Lindsay, believe it or not, but we were right to the minute in terms of our planning. So thank you for all of the, believe it or not, we're right to the minute. Thank you for all the companies that presented and all the presenters. And sorry for interjecting often enough to say 3 minutes. So hopefully you don't remember that in your mind when you're sleeping.
Yeah, I think all the pitches were amazing. We didn't have to fully cut anybody off, so that is a win. And you know what? We are going to make sure that you can get to the after parties in a pretty timely way. Just before that, I want to say a few thank yous. First, to all the founders that pitched tonight. Thank you for your pitches, your work on your pitches. Thank you to our sponsors and our partners. Thank you to the investors for being part of the summit and already doing starting due diligence anyways on all of these companies. Thank you to Winnie for running the ops for the summit and being our technical host to make sure Zoom has worked for everyone really smoothly. Thanks to Jonah for doing tons of work behind the scenes as well. And thank you to Mandy for making this event pop on our socials. Everybody, please, follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Give us a follow, show us some love, and sign up for our weekly newsletter. That's the best way for you to stay up to date on everything Startup TNT. And
Lindsay, just one thing.
Yes.
Just for everybody on the line today, watching live, March 14th, just put this in your calendar. March 14th is the finale, live from Edmonton at the Amy facility, but you can also watch it online as well. So like you're doing this evening. So please join us for that event on March 14th. So put it in your calendar now, and certainly, hopefully you won't forget.
Absolutely. Thanks for the reminder, Trom. And Winnie has posted the link to that to get your free ticket in the chat. So click on that link, get your ticket. see you on March 14th in person at Amy in Edmonton. And if you're not in Edmonton, then there will be, of course, the live stream that we have for you to watch. And with no further ado, I think we can wrap it up and see you at the after parties.
Yeah, congratulations, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.